Thanks, Chris. And again, we're really just delighted to have you all here with us today. Thank you for your interest and for setting aside some time to learn more about FaceBase with us. This is what we call our boot camp for users and contributors, where we go over 2 sessions. You're welcome to stay for both, as both are really relevant to everyone in the community. So in our first part of the meeting, we will talk about data usage, so finding and citing and accessing data. And in the later session, we'll talk about how to contribute, how to organize your data, things to be aware of while you're producing data, and then what it's like to contribute to FaceBase. So as Chris said, my name's Rob Schuler. I serve as our kind of technical lead for FaceBase. And along with me for today's sessions are Cris Williams, who is our communications and outreach specialist, Laura Perlman, who works on our systems and policies of FaceBase, and then Alejandro Bugakov, who is our data scientist and sort of primary data steward for FaceBase, who really you encounter a lot, both for if you're contributing data to FaceBase, as well as having questions about using FaceBase or finding data on FaceBase. So that is our team for today. There are many more members of FaceBase, but we are the team for doing this boot camp today. So with that, our first part of the morning, or the first session here, is on usage. So Chris is going to start us off with a walkthrough and demonstration of the website and our documentation site. After that, I will give a short presentation on some of the highlights of using FaceBase data, and then also give a demonstration of that as well. So let me now turn it over to Chris at this point.
Great, thank you, Rob. And while I'm sharing my screen, I just wanted to let everybody know that we are recording this, and we will be distributing webcasts to the people who registered first, and then they will be posted publicly, so you'll be able to, check this out again and revisit anything that you want to dive deeper on. So this is the homepage of the FaceBase website, and I just kind of wanted to go over some features available on this landing page. First of all, we have a search bar, the ubiquitous search bar. So this allows you to do a free text search across all of the data sets in the data repository in FaceBase. And here are some examples of some search terms that you could use by anatomical region, or gene, or both, and you can see what kind of data sets those bring up. In this section, this kind of gives you an idea of the depth and breadth of the repository itself. So we have like the latest number of data sets that we have, experiments. So experiments are collected into data sets. That's a subset. And then the large array of images that we have available. We also have this handy dandy button that'll just take you to all the data sets, and you can filter from there. And Rob will tell you more about ways of searching the database in his segment soon. These 2 charts, they indicate things like how many species are available in the data repository. And as you can see, there's a large amount of mouse and a large amount of human. We have smaller percentages of zebrafish, and then even smaller for chimp and for chick. We are definitely interested in expanding the species in our repository. We're definitely interested in xenopus. That's something that people have expressed interest in. And so if anybody is familiar with any xenopus researchers, feel free to pass them to FaceBase. And then the types of data that we have, these are just kind of some high-level categories: tomography and MRI, gene expression, epigenetics analysis, GWAS, etc. We also have some helpful links, especially if you're new to FaceBase. And I'll just kind of click through to here. This gives you some really good information for newbies, including our frequently asked questions, link to the documentation site. We encourage you to sign up for a FaceBase user account if you haven't already. And that's usually how people, I'm sure most of you already have, and that's how you ended up on our mailing list. But if you haven't, if a friend encouraged you to join today, then we recommend that you sign up for one. This also gives a link of information about how to submit data and how to cite your data, and there's more information coming on those later. We have this video, which is very useful to learn more about FaceBase. And then the rest of the page is divided kind of by type of user. So if you're a basic scientist, these may be of interest to you, these links. And then if you're a clinician, there's some links that may be of interest, and as well as for students or people needing biological information that we have available. Let me go back to the home page, and when you scroll down, we have these organism-specific resources. So our top resources are mouse, human, and zebrafish. So if you click here, for example, you go to what we call the mouse info page. And so this will not only give you a link to our data filtered by mouse, it also indicates the types of data that are available. We also have this resource, which is very useful for mouse data. It's called the Mouse Data Summary, and it's a large chart that indicates available data by anatomical region and embryonic age stage and post-embryonic. So these colors indicate different types of data available at these points. And the list of anatomical regions right now is strictly alphabetical. We are working in the near future on putting this in a hierarchy so that it's a little easier to kind of find the all the different regional areas that you might be looking for. And then there's a legend for the different assay types at the bottom. But in general, if you pick a particular cell and you click on it, it'll take you directly into the data repository, which with a search based on that stage and that anatomical region, and then you can see what's available there. So going back to the mouse page, we also have some other really interesting resources available. So we're not just a list of data sets. We also host some useful resources for the community. So this is a really popular item. This is the Mouse Anatomy Atlas based on mouse embryos. So you can see the different areas that are highlighted, and then you can click through as each stage progresses and see, you know, how the regions develop, etc. There are also some color-coded drawings representing cell lineages. And a few other resources here that you can check out. This mouse skull flythrough is very cool. It basically shows the different areas of the mouse skull close up. It's a very nice soundtrack there. Okay, and then going back, we have a similar kind of page for human. So in here, we are stressing the fact that we have controlled access human data, and Alejandra will tell you more later about how to request that. And there's a link to learn that as well, and information about our policies. But you can see the different kinds of assay types that are available in general. We also have some resources available here. The 3D facial norms is very popular, so it's probably one of our most visited parts of the website, aside from the data repository. And it gives access to craniofacial anthropometric normative data. And you can also request the underlying raw data as well. Okay, so we also provide an indication of the types of images that we offer. These are just a few of the top ones: micro-CT, fluorescence, enhancer activity, microscopy, histological staining, and you can click through to do a search on imaging records as well. And then we have some news at the bottom and publications, and these kind of cycle through based on the most recent. But one of the things that we're offering for people who cite data on FaceBase is to list them on our publications page, which will show for a time on our front page here. Okay, and then I want to draw your attention to the top menu. So here is where the website is basically organized into these top levels of data, resources, contribute, policies, community, and help. So under data, these are all links into the repository by different categories. So this is straight up all the data sets. These are the projects. These are the labs that produce the data. Protocols, we have protocols for each of the data sets, and they're gathered there, and you can search through those. This is another link to the image search. And then we have links specifically by species or by modalities so that you can start off your search with something in particular. Under here are the resources. So these basically represent what I was just showing. This is that info page, and then direct links to most of those resources listed there. Same thing for human. Something I also want to point out here is the human genomics analysis interface. So this is a mini site that was contributed by the Mary Marazita lab at University of Pittsburgh. And let's see. And by the way, I do see a question in the chat, and we will have some Q&A, but feel free to go ahead and put your questions there, and we'll address them in a little bit. But this is it's a human genomics database that focuses on oral facial clefting, facial variation, and dental traits. So that's a great resource there. For zebrafish, we have the Fish Face Atlas. And also here we have Anatomical Navigation. So this is an interesting, we have this for mouse too. So let me show the mouse one. This is basically an image of wild type mouse. And as you can see, there are meshes. So there are regions that are color coded, much like that video that we saw earlier. And over here, you can toggle the different sections, and you can kind of obviously see which region is which. And then if you want to see what data that we have available, you can click the term and then scroll down, and you will see related data sets such as this one. And this is in an iframe. So this is more for like discovery. And then I would recommend actually kind of doing one of those open and link in new tab in order to see it in its full glory. And Rob will be telling you more about that part of the website soon. Let's see. And then we also have this EnamelBase. This is another resource contributed by these laboratories, and it's all about amelogenesis perfecta. So here they have a primer on amelogenesis, and they also have mouse models that they've provided as well as protocols. And so this is one of the few such resources available for amelogenesis. Let's go on to contribute. So in this section, this is all about people who are interested in contributing their data. I'll go to this first link, which kind of describes the phases. And again, we'll go into further detail later, but this is where you can, find links and we have links to information about filling out your DMS plan, how to submit the form so that we can review your data and approve it. And then information about how your data should best practices for organizing your data, and then information about uploading it and citing your work, which is very important. And then we also go over advantages for contributing data to FaceBase. We are NIH affiliated. We are based on FAIR principles of findability, accessibility, interoperability, and reusability. We provide journal-worthy citations. There are automatically generated visualizations based on the kinds of imaging or genomics data that you provide. We can also link, if you already have data in Geo or dbGaP, we can still represent your data here. And because this particular repository is all about dental, oral, and craniofacial data, there is a lot of benefit in also having your data listed here. So, but we are able to link to external sources. We also have an ability to annotate your 2D images, and Alejandro will tell you more about that later. Also, we personally guide you through the contribution process. So one of the first things that you do once you're approved is setting up a meeting with Alejandro to go over exactly how your data should be structured and the whole process. And then we can embargo your data, and we encourage people to set things up earlier rather than later, which is another thing that will be stressed later on. But we're perfectly, we would love to actually have your everything set up early, and then you can keep it in embargo so it's not seen by the public until you tell us that a publication is released, for example. Other sections of the website, policies. So this describes our data access policies in case you're not familiar. We have open access data, and we also have controlled access data, which is that protected human data. So all individual level human data is considered controlled access. And we have information about not only requesting this type of data, but once you've been approved and you've gotten access, you have access for a year, and then you can submit to renew that access for another year. Under here is community, so you can see our list of publications and also our boot camps, of course this one, and then our annual community forum. So we just had one in May on the NIH campus. Some of you were there actually, and welcome again. And so we will soon be scheduling the next one for 2025. And at this time, it looks like it's going to be right in Marina del Rey. So be on the lookout for that from our mailing list. And also we have office hours. So the last Wednesday of every month, we have about an hour on Zoom, and you can join and register and just join us and chat about any questions that you have about data, etc. And then finally, under help, we have frequently asked questions, information on citing FaceBase. We have a YouTube YouTube channel. Let me just pop over there really quickly, which has lots of information. You can see this is linked to our playlists. We have presentations from our most recent community forum that are publicly available. We have what we call featuring FaceBase, which is some of our highly produced videos about FaceBase, about the contribution process, about our imaging data, and about omics data available in FaceBase. Yeah, I'll close that, but then I am going to take us to our documentation site. So this was released last year, and it's been very useful. So you can see at the quick start page when you first get there, and this is a very useful collection of links depending upon what you're interested in. So links to docs, and then also links to videos. These are from last year's boot camp, and we will be replacing these with this year's boot camp videos, and links to those produced videos again. But you can kind of explore many topics on this left sidebar, especially key concepts for users, browsing and filtering data, requesting. This is all the information about how to request controlled access human data, and then information about submitting your data, the basics, and then some advanced topics. And that's basically that. So the only other thing is just to encourage you to sign up if you haven't already for a FaceBase users account. And that will put you on our mailing list if you're not on there. And that is about it.